for if and when we heat the ground. It's gonna hurt if we heat the ground. Hey guys, it's Alan, the Fireman 1028, and today we're back with our BMW R9T Scrambler. Now, as everyone knows, we're going to take this on the Smokey Mountain 500, and we need some protection. So our first video was the installation of the Wunderlich skid plate, and our second is going to be our Barkbuster handguards. Again, coming from Wunderlich, but directly from Barkbuster. They have their own kit for it. So I think this is going to look pretty awesome, and it's going to kind of give the bike kind of a badass look to it. So can't wait to get it on. So let's get started. All right, so let's see what Wunderlich and Barkbuster have in store for us. And you see it's made for the BMW R9T Scrambler 16 and on, Urban GS 17 and on. Open up, got some instructions, pack of parts. That's our handlebar mounts, all of our accoutrements. Now, what I love about Barkbuster is that they're just these nice, strong, extruded aluminum pieces. Now, again, it's just stock, stock aluminum, but still, how they bend it, everything is just right. Counter set for their screws and everything. So let's get these on the bike. All right, so our first step is we're going to take off these stock bar ends off there. This is a T45 Torx head. And actually, I already broke those loose, so that was actually not too bad. I've had some Hondas. Oh my gosh, Honda is notorious for having extremely over-torqued bar ends. But the Germans do not do that. So let's get this bar end off. Yeah, look at that. That's just a little plastic. That's not even metal. That's just plastic. Look at that. Our first step is when we put on our bar clamps. Now, it's a two-piece design. It goes facing like this, facing the forward of the bike. Now, we had our quad block mount right here, so I had to pull it off because we're going to put these on and then go back and do some adjusting. Where exactly this guy mounts, I don't know. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put together the handlebar mount first. The outer edge. We're going to go ahead and mount the outer edge first. So there's lots of parts that go here. So first you have your handguard, and you see how it's tapered in right there. So it's recessed in. So the screw is going to go straight in there. Next is going to be our spacer. That goes with the flat side facing out. Next is going to be our solid aluminum spacer. It's going to go and it's going to seat inside there. Next is going to be this guy here, this little expander, and it's going to go with the slotted side facing towards the bike. That's going to go on there. And then this little guy, the actual expanding thing, see it's got a little knurled piece on the end there. That's going to go, again, facing into the handlebar. It threads on to there, which holds everything together. All right, so once you get everything installed, you see everything put together here. It kind of goes in nicely like that. So we'll insert it into the handlebar. Now, this piece is going to expand inside there, and it's threaded, which gives you something else for everything else to bite into. Once we insert it there, you'll see kind of where it's going to go in the final position there. Now, we may have to move our clutch cylinder here out of the way to be able to attach the bracket for where it's going to attach to right there, but the bracket will stick out over here for where it attaches to. So we might, again, loosen that up, put the bracket in, the clamp in on the handlebar, and then put everything back in place. Oh, damn it. As you can see, our outer clamp is going to mount right here on the handlebar. So we'll have to kind of work that in, something like that. There we go. See that right there? See if I can get it from a different angle. There we go. There's a good angle. So with lifting the handguard in place, this guy's going to mount right there and mount right to the outside of that handguard. Now again, we're still just kind of dry fitting everything, so you want to have it where your cables here go inside the channel right there and are protected by that. And this is going to go on the outside, similar to this right here. Now that final adjustment will take place at the very end, but that gives you an idea how it's going to look. Protect your levers and be the furthest point out of the bike if and when it falls. Now again, we're just dry fitting now, but we're going to go ahead and take our screw that holds everything together, fit it in the end there. Go ahead and just kind of lightly thread it in there, and that holds everything together. That really gives you an idea as to how the whole thing is going to look. So right now, let's go ahead and tighten up these screws up here on the handlebar. Again, we're not doing the final tighten down, we're just kind of snugging them up. So again, we're just kind of slowly putting everything together, getting everything fitted, and kind of see how everything looks before we do our final tightening. Now you see how that gives good protection. And again, you can adjust it down a little bit too. It's going to give really good protection to our levers, on our clutch side and our brake side, and really be the kind of the furthest point out here. All right, now Barkbuster has a specific order as to how you do your final tightening. So once you get everything in place, this is bolt number 7, so we're going to tighten that one first. Then you tighten bolt number 6, which is this one right here. Then you tighten bolt number 5, which is this one right here. Then you tighten bolt number 4, which is this one right here, on your final tightening. Now we still have not tightened this down here with the insert inside the bar. So we're going to make sure that's seated properly before we make that final tightening, because once that's done, it expands that little nut inside there, inside the bar tube, the inner diameter of the bar, and that becomes your threaded insert for forever basically, and that's not coming out. So we want to make sure this is set up just right before we make that final tightening, because once you do that, it's done. Once you make that final tightening right there, again, it expanded that nut inside there, and like I said, that really firms that up. So this is bolt number 7 according to the instructions, so we tighten that up there. Now we'll tighten this guy up here. That's considered bolt number 6. See how it kind of brings everything together. Then we'll come over here. These guys, bolt number 4. And snug those down. And that's it. Your Barkbuster bar end is attached. Now, once we're done with that, we'll go back, set our lever and our brake, excuse me, we'll set our clutch lever back in the position where we want it. Tighten everything back down right there. Now again, we'll repeat it for the right side of the bike, but there's a couple important steps on that side that I'm going to show you. All right, so we're over here on the right side of the bike, on the throttle side of the bike. Now, the most important thing here is you cannot have any binding on your throttle tube. Now you see how it sticks out. Let me see if I can get it angled right there. See how this metal, the bar, sticks out just slightly past this throttle tube. That is key. So when you're installing your bar there, you want to make sure that you maintain that gap right there. Again, what that's going to ensure, let's get our camera down there like that. What that's going to ensure is that you do not have any binding of your throttle right there. You got to have that gap, or you're going to bind, and either you're not going to be able to turn it, or you're going to turn your throttle and it's not going to return back. It's not going to spring back like it's supposed to. And that's called cruise control, poor man's cruise control, and that ain't good. Now, I didn't show this on the other side, but if you notice on the clamp, there's a short screw and there's a longer screw. The longer screw's on the bottom, and if you notice on the clamp, once you get it on there, it's kind of hard to tell, but see how this bottom side is thicker than that the top side is? That sits on that little shelf right there, facing this way on the bike. Again, I didn't show it on the other side, but I figured I'd show that right there. All right, so now we got the handguards on, we're going to put the wind deflectors on. Now, you got one external screw right over here, and then you got two, excuse me, you got some internal screw holes here and over here. Let's get our outside screw done. Take two. Outside screw. All right, so we went ahead and installed the wind deflector on the Barkbuster handguard. These are the, if you see it, Storm. And so what you got is you got one screw right here, and then you got two screws right here on the inside. Now there's a little bracket, if you can see that. There's a little bracket right there, and the bracket has a kind of a recess in it, and it's supposed to go that way, and it goes right there, and it goes right to where your clutch lever goes. And it's going to be the same thing on the other side with your brake lever. So I just want to show you that. All right, guys, that'll complete the installation of our Barkbuster handguards and Storm wind deflectors on our BMW R9T Scrambler. Now, the installation was pretty simple. You just got to pay attention. You got to make sure you get the screw put in the end of the handlebars. That kind of expands, and that's what everything attaches to. So I think they look pretty badass. They look really good on the R9T GS, the Urban GS. Black and white were really the only two options, and white really didn't work with this paint scheme, so that's why we went with the black. So hopefully we don't have to use them, but if we do, we got that protection next week on the Smokey Mountain 500. So again, thank you guys for watching. If you saw anything that you found helpful, give me a thumbs up, throw a comment up there, and the ultimate compliment is to subscribe. Thank you guys again. Roll Tide, God bless, and remember, tomorrow needs you. See you out on the trails. Thanks, guys. Oh, damn it. You piece of shit. For if and when we heat the ground. It's gonna hurt if we heat the ground.